Mhm. A warm welcome to you all to our second Aquarian Salon. And I would like to present you in short the team and the next steps of the program. You have already heard Frank Berger, our musician, guitar player, music teacher from Berlin. And he will give a little guitar concert at the beginning of our meeting. Then he will also play at the very end of the salon. My name is Ludger Phillips, and I'm living in Switzerland. And Risa will say some words about me a little bit later. Risa D'Angelis, is from Central USA. She will give an introduction, and later she will moderate a conversation. Then Lorraine from California. She is operating Zoom, and she will show you the slides which you will be seeing. Then Rosa Fernandez. She is living near New York City, and she is taking care of you. You can write any questions. She will read them at the meeting, and when you want to speak, when you're muted, I think it is now not necessary to unmute. Rosa, do you think it is? No, we just go ahead as it is, because now everybody can unmute himself when he wants to talk, but we need to see an order of the talk. So in case, Rosa, you say the name of the persons who should speak next. And you yourself, each one, can arrange which kind of view you want to have there. When you want to see gallery view, you can go to the top of the corner of the screen, and upper right side of the screen, in the small square grid, where you can see view, and there you can choose the view modus, and you might click on gallery mode. If you want to for full screen, then click full screen in the same mode. This is individually done, and not what the others see on screen. And we will first hear the little concert of Frank. Afterwards, we will speak together an old Sanskrit prayer for group coherence, and then we'll start with the exchange with talk. Frank, you need to unmute then your microphone.
Yes. So a warm welcome from my side. I play a little music for you. I hope for your pleasure. This is the Leo side of the year. So I begin.
We now will speak the prayer for group coherence node mantra. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahe, tejasvinavati tamastu, ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we share and enjoy together. May we work efficiently together. Let there be no hindrances to our enlightenment. Let no malice prevail. Let peace be in all the three planes. Risa?
Well, a warm welcome to
Namaste.
everyone. As Frank said, a warm welcome. Thank you, Frank, for that beautiful music. Well, my name is Risa, and welcome everyone to our second Aquarian Salon. And I invite everyone to connect with each other heart to heart, soul to soul, so we can create this atmosphere of love. The Tibetan always said, make contact, disciples, because making contact releases love. So again, a warm welcome to everyone. This is our summer salon, and we're happy to see everyone. I'm sure more will join us later on. And I want to say that the great teachers always say that just the right people show up, just the right amount of people show up. And so here we are in our Aquarian Salon, and we're going to have a new conversation together. So we created the chart for today. Lauren, can you put the chart up for today? And then I'm going to point a few things out and Lauren will circle them for us. So our first salon was in May, and we had a chart for that day. And now we have a chart for today, which is August 19th. And so every day, as the heavens change, the atmosphere on the earth changes. So we have a different atmosphere today than we did at our first salon. So at our first salon, we had the sun and moon in Gemini, lots of talk and chatter and communication. Now the sun is in Leo and the moon is in Libra. The sun is in Leo, the moon is in Libra. When a sun is in Leo, we're called forth to bring forth our gifts. We're also called forth to praise and recognize each other. We're called forth to be harmonizers and to harmonize with each other. So, Lauren, if you'll point out the Venus retrograde. When we had our first salon, Venus was not retrograde, it was direct. Now Venus is retrograde. Lauren is pointing that out. Venus in Leo is retrograde. Venus is calling us to gather and cultivate our gifts, Leo. And then something else happened at the new moon in Cancer. The nodes changed. The nodes are North Node, South Node, that's their names. The North Node means this is now the path you are on, all of humanity. And those nodes changed. And we have North Node now in Aries. North Node in Aries says, we are to focus now on our self-identity, focusing on our self-identity. Who are we as a humanity? For the next 18 months, we will be focusing on the identity of who we are. So we have a different atmosphere now on the earth and today in our salon. And so Mercury and Mars are also in Virgo, and Virgo creates a new state of awareness. And Virgo holds within matter the soul. So the new state of awareness is about the soul. And later on, I'm going to say the soul invocation. So let's think about ourselves now as gathering, as a people gathering and having a new conversation together in our Aquarian Salon. For those who are joining for the first time, I thought I'd give an overview of salons. I've always been fascinated with salons. They happened in Europe. You know, they didn't really happen much in the United States, but they happened in Europe, which is the seedbed of intellectuality. The salons were a gathering of people who wanted to talk and share together, and they started in the 15th century in Italy, and they flourished in Europe in the 16th through 18th century. They reflected earlier discussions in wisdom schools that Aristotle and Plato and Socrates and Pythagoras had among their students. And in our school, our esoteric school, we developed discussions and dialogues. So salons were the beginnings of people having a new conversation in public together. Prior to the salons, conversations were happening only in castles and monasteries, where most books were read, and they happened at home. But when the new rays 3, 5, and 7 started flowing into the earth, something happened to humanity. They walked out of their castles and monasteries, and they started to meet together in cafes and coffee shops. It was during at that time that a new drink called coffee was brought. This coffee comes to Europe from the Near East. It was considered a very unusual dark black beverage, but by the 17th century, cafes and coffee shops were created, and in this way, Europe became a very popular continent in which people gathered, had coffee, and created the salons. So the salon was a conversation humanity began to have in the public sphere. And like I said, prior to salons, people communicated behind walls, the walls of palaces or of homes. There was no public conversation. I'm going to say a bit about the rays coming in. The rays are lights from the Big Dipper, all the stars in the Big Dipper. When the rays coming into the earth change, humanity changes. So in 1775, ray 5 came in. Ray 5 is science and truth. Ray 6 began to be withdrawn. Ray 6 is our Piscean ray. Ray 6 began to be withdrawn in 1625. Ray 7, anchoring a new rhythm, the strand of Aquarius, started coming in 1675. Ray 2, love and wisdom, started coming in 1575. And Ray 3, 1425. So these rays were what were influencing humanity, and they helped create these salons. So humanity came out into the public sphere and started talking to each other. Now, there's something really important happening in 2025 in terms of everybody knows about the teachings of the Tibetan, where he says that the precipitation of the New World Teacher will come forth in 2025. Ray 4, harmony coming out of chaos and conflict will be coming in as a New World Teacher appears. So as the rays came in 1625, 1675, 1575, the Renaissance began. So again, a new science, a new intelligent conversation, anchoring new rhythms on the earth. And the Renaissance came in, and people came out from their homes and their palaces. And they came out and met each other and had a conversation. So the early salons, they gathered in great halls and they exchanged ideas. It was all about writers and artists and thinkers and philosophers. They gathered to have a conversation, to dialogue, and there were great debates. It was during this time, the late 16th, 17th centuries, like I said, that coffee was introduced to the European people. Coffee shops proliferated. The salon was and is about discovery, sharing stories, sharing ideas, bringing forth one's creativity, creating a new culture, and learning. And most of all, it helps us with our imagination. So the era of the salon created an age of the conversation. So in our new Aquarian Salon, in our new age of Aquarius, we are going to renew this idea. We are creating a new age of the salon, and we are going to have a new conversation together. So Aquarius is the age of humanity and the age of knowledge. And at the heart of Aquarius is love. In the age of Aquarius, a new stage of enlightenment is occurring. So the Aquarian Salon here is a pioneering effort, again, a new conversation to help humanity unfold in a new way. There are many types of salons: garden salons, literary salons, art salons, parties that are like salons. In France, at the Tuileries, you'll see this right here, the Tuileries, there's a public garden in Paris next to the Louvre. They have a gallery for the arts, and people gather there at the Tuileries for conversation about art and gardening. We talk about the realities of the world today. And so what is our salon? We are entering into a state of mysteries, astrology, and art. We are having an art salon, and the subject of our salon is Ludger's paintings. I want to thank Ludger for giving us the opportunity to come together and to look at his paintings and to discuss them together. So, what will be presented today? In some of Ludger's paintings, we're going to see this brilliant blue-white star called Sirius. And I want to show you how to find Sirius in the sky. It's quite amazing. When you look into the sky, you find those three stars lined up. They're called Orion's belt. They're also called the three kings that came to visit the Holy Child. You find Orion's belt, and to the left of Orion's belt is Sirius. So now you can look up into the heavens and find the belt and find Sirius and introduce yourself to Sirius and say, "Hi, Sirius. I know who you are. You're the great blue-white star where love comes from. My name is Risa." And if we make contact with those stars and Sirius, they will respond. And so what we're also going to talk about is the summer zodiacal signs of Cancer, which is the gate. Cancer is the gate into matter. We're going to talk about Leo, the creative one, and about Virgo, the mother who hides the soul. So let's also talk about the north and south nodes. I want to say something about this because, again, something happened in the previous months in the heavens that affected humanity. Humanity has reached a point in evolution where humanity must awaken and know the self. Humanity is actually the world disciple. And the conflicts and chaos that are occurring in our world at this time has to be taken over and cared for by humanity itself. But humanity can't do that until it knows itself as a world disciple and a savior. So the stars and the planets assist us in knowing ourselves. And so at the new moon of Cancer on July 17th, a new gate opened for humanity, the gate of self-identity. This occurred as the North Node. It's called our path this lifetime. It entered Aries, and Aries is a sign of self-identity for humanity. And the South Node entered Libra. We are to gather up all of our relationships and offer our gratitude to them. Then we are to stand within the aura and atmosphere of Aries and find out who we are. And so the gate of Cancer opened us up into our new path of who are we and what is our purpose. So let's talk about the gates a bit. I have some beautiful graphics of gates, beautiful gates. The gate of Cancer. Cancer is the womb. In the womb, Cancer nurtures the seed of a new reality. Cancer is the mother, and Mother has said to us, it's time for you to know who you are, where you came from, what you are doing here on earth, and where you are going. And Cancer says to each of us, I will build a lighted house within you, and this lighted house is the soul. And from now on, the soul will dwell there, and it will guide your personality in the right direction. Cancer is the mother. And the teacher tells the student in Cancer, and the student is Hercules, and we are Hercules. And the teacher says, remember, know which voice to recognize that arouses the obedience of the heart. What is in our heart? And then the mother, which is Cancer, hands us over to Leo. And Leo is the father. And the father steps in and he says, I'm now asking you under Leo to cultivate your gifts and talents, humanity, to step forward with your creative self-expression. When you create, you get to know yourself. And the father says under Leo, I am in need of your talents and gifts. With your talents and gifts, you are to create the new culture and civilization of Aquarius. When you bring forth your authentic talents and gifts and self-expression, the 12 petals of your heart open, and these 12 petals are 12 virtues. And virtues become our apothecary. They become our medicine chest. And when the 12 virtues unfold in your heart, because you've expressed yourself, then you enter into will and purpose. And remember, I'm going to tell you these words. I am that, and that am I. I am that, and that am I. These are the words under Leo. Under Leo, we are to lift up the personality to the light of the soul. And how do we do that? We say the soul invocation. I am the soul, and we identify. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed and perfect in my design. I am the soul. And so under Leo, we have to have courage. We have to have the courage of the heart. And when we lift up the personality to the light of the soul, we are able to place upon our bodies the skin and the robe of the lion. We become the Lion of Judah, the Lion of Judah. And that's a coded statement. Once we've taken on our self-expression, Virgo steps forward. And Virgo says, I think we need some order and organization here. We also need some purity and purification. We need to develop discernment and discrimination, discriminating wisdom. And above all, we need to take care of ourselves. And Virgo says, I am the mother, and within me, I hold the soul of humanity. I am the mother. I am matter. I am hidden within matter, and I'm waiting to be birthed at winter solstice. And Virgo says, I am hiding the soul in everyday life. I will birth the soul at winter solstice at the new light. I am the mother. I am the child. I, God, I matter, am. We are one. In the labors of Hercules, the teacher says to Hercules under Virgo, we must not kill what is dear and needed in our lives. We must we must not kill the ones we love. We must cherish everything in our lives. And so as we go through Ludger's paintings, we are going to begin to see how he brings forth in his art these hidden mysteries. Ludger brings forth the depths of the signs, these 3 summer signs of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo in his paintings. We'll see the blue-white star of Sirius blazing forth like a diamond. It is the diamond light of love that underlies all happenings of all events and all people and all times on our earth. So I'm going to invite everyone to gaze at Ludger's paintings, to become aware of what one sees. What do we see and what do we feel? What symbols do we see? I'm trying to read this. What do we notice in Ludger's painting? Do the symbols invoke anything or mean anything to us? What does it say to us? What do we sense when we look at the paintings? What do we think the artist is trying to convey? And also we can always have questions. We can always say, Ludger, what does that mean? What does that bright star mean? What does that wave mean? So everyone's voice is important. Everyone's voice is listened to. Questions are good. They make us think and ponder. That's how we approach the paintings. First we gaze, then we ask questions. We are an intelligent group of people with thoughts and ideas and abilities. In our salon, when we recognize each other and praise each other and praise and recognize Ludger, when we ask questions, we create the heart of our Aquarian Salon. And so, as we consider these questions, remember to raise your hand if you want to respond, or type your message in the chat. So I'm going to turn this over to all of you, and we will look at the paintings, and we can begin to respond. Let's say what we see. Questions into the chat. Rosa will, I think she will unmute you if you want to say something, or you can speak to that. So it's good to have silence. Silence is good. In that silence, we can gaze upon these paintings. I'm going to begin with this painting. This painting is profound. This is the little baby, the fetus inside the mother. And around the baby are all the signs of the zodiac. And before the baby is birthed, each one of these lords of these signs place within the baby their gifts. They impress upon the baby their gifts so that when we're born, we have embedded within us the gifts of each one of the signs. Aries, I am. Taurus, I desire. Gemini, I think and talk. Cancer, I protect. Leo, I create. Virgo, I hide the soul. Libra, I interact with you, I and thou. Scorpio, I transform. Sagittarius, I take you on a journey. Capricorn, I take you up the mountain of initiation. Aquarius, I serve humanity. And Pisces, I save humanity. So each one of these signs offers, each one of these zodiacal lords offers to the baby profound gifts. And as we live our life and learn astrology, our astrology, we discover every one of these gifts within us. So this to me is one of Ludger's most beautiful paintings. And this is Cancer, and it's called The Descent of the Soul into Matter, because we always enter into the earth through the gate of Cancer. Well, that's all I'm going to say for now, everyone. I'm going to open up this conversation to others. What do you see? What touches you? Do you have questions? How does this impress you? What would you like to ask? And silence as we wait is good. in our classroom, I have class every morning, every day with students. I tell everybody, you can't remain silent. You have to use your voice. You have to become part of the conversation, because everybody's voice and thoughts and ideas are important. So I'm going to say to everyone who showed up today, please use your voice and please be part of the conversation. We all learn from each other. I say to our students, when you share, we listen to you, we learn, we ponder, we anchor our meditation, and love is released.
We have two sharings. Caroline says, my first impression, wow, is still reverberating in my head. No other words just now. Rebecca Dye, I don't remember how to raise my hand. Oh, so go to the, there is a little icon that says reactions. Can you see it with a smiley face and a plus sign up on top at the bottom? If you click on reactions, there is at the bottom of the reactions, there's a hand and says raise hand. You can raise a hand. Okay. Oh, another sharing. This image by Rebecca Dye, this image features the gate of a spirit into matter as the baby comes into material form. Dilip, the image takes me to a greater cosmic view from normal Earth consciousness. Pamela Gee, I think of how ancient the symbol is. Locally, there is a sculpture of Mithras being born of the rock surrounded by the zodiac. And Teresa Smith, I love the colors of blues and gold. Cancer at the birth canal, birthing spirit into matter. Aquarian waters poured forth for thirsty humanity, pouring around the baby.
Rosa,
Yes.
maybe have the conversation go on, because Ute and Rita raised their hands at the very beginning already. And
Okay,
so let the people speak. Writing is fine when somebody doesn't want to speak, but it's good to have the conversation going on.
Yes. Let's see if I can find that. Second. Oh, I cannot see them. Oh, here they are. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I asked you to. Oh, yeah, there.
Yeah, no worries. Just following the wonderful introduction by Rita to the painting and also in general, and looking at the title of the painting, just a quick thought came to my mind. Yes, we all need it. The soul can only become a soul-infused personality if it comes down into matter, to have the journey, to evolve, have all the experiences needed, and thus become part of the group and the group of workers. And so all the journey being not only focused into coming up, but also we also need to come down first and have our experiences here that we need to come back. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. Connie Marie on the chat. I love knowing that our gifts are inborn at birth. Carolyn, what is the significance of the straight lines at the bottom of the canvas?
Shall I answer this? I go to this. I do not want to interrupt the discourse, but when there's a concrete question, I could start on how it is built up. this image, but then I go into the technicalities of it, and it is as per the lines there. Yes, you see the zodiac. It is, I extracted it from a photo which I got from a friend from a church in Florence, in Italy. But it was bottom up, and I put them into this round form and changed the colors and worked them out. And the embryo is from a drawing of William Hunter, who lived in the 18th century. He didn't have X-rays. They did medical research by opening up wombs of passed over persons, of corpses. And this is one of the very early researches, medical researches of studying how an embryo looks like. And so it's an excellent etching work about this baby in the womb of the mother. And I put it into the center of the zodiac, and then the lines, as per the lines at the bottom. The baby comes down to earth. In March, I was at a seminar in North Germany, and in the evening, where we were walking along the street with a friend, we were talking, and then fog came up, and a car came through the fog. And I took a picture of the car in the fog. And the lines are the lines, the traffic lines of the road. But why this road? It is the baby descends to earth, and it starts its path through life. So here it is the moment of touchdown, where you start the journey through life. It is no more in the womb, it comes down, and then it is entering on the path through life, and this is the light of the roadway. Yes. And Ouroboros, of course, yes. I thought also, I worked it out. It was the outer line of the etching, but I used it to use it as Ouroboros, but at the same time also Aquarius. The energy from the cosmos comes in here with Aquarius also. And so from the cosmos and from the embryo, the micro and macrocosmos.
Liliane has her hand.
Thank you. So there were a series of thoughts. I'm not going to edit them. I will just offer them. That this is such a sacred image, such a sacred moment, such a blessing of a gift, if you will, to humanity and the earth, the incarnation of new life. And how, when this is not appreciated, respected, honored for that sacredness it has, how then all the trauma and the tribulations on the path and everything starts. And we can say, sure, you know, we choose where we are born. And there is also something to be said, how can we make an effort to re-educate, especially the people who are present in births, to honor and respect life for how it's presented. Thank you.
Thank you. A comment in the chat, Laura Kelly, the outline of the womb looks like the Ouroboros to me around the baby. And a question by Teresa. Ludger, where are the lights at the top of the painting and the fire of light at the bottom of the painting? What do those represent? How did you create them?
Yes.
Hello, this is Risa. Before you answer, Ludwig, can I say something, please? This is Risa. Can
We
you
can
hear
hear
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Yes.
Who spoke prior? Who
Lily,
was the one about education, re-educating the people?
Lillian.
Yeah.
Lillian? Was that Lillian?
Yes.
That
Yes.
was a very important statement. And I don't want, I don't want us to just go on to comments without responding to them, because I don't want some of those comments to get lost. We're having a conversation, and that is the most important thing we could be talking about now with humanity, how to re-educate humanity. And that would just, we would need to have another discussion about how to do that. But that is the most profound thing that is needed for humanity at this time. The Tibetan says all the money and all the energy of the disciples must go into re-educating humanity because they have lost the core of their purpose. And so I want to acknowledge that statement from Lillian, and perhaps we can have another conversation at another time to answer that question. Okay. Now we can go back to maybe Teresa's question and maybe Ludger's response.
Yes, the upper part of the image was the question. Dilip has seen the dimension already in its comment, which he wrote in the chat. Here, the baby is in the microcosm, but the influences come from the macrocosm, from the zodiac. As per the Earth, the upper part first, I took a picture from NASA from a view of Himalaya, the entire Himalayas, and I bent it in the picture, and what you see is white. These are the structures of the mountains, and the mountains and rivers from Himalayas, and then it goes beyond, and there is an arm of a spiral, of a ring galaxy, of a very great galactic dimension. There's a beautiful circle in cosmos, and which is here put beyond the sphere of Earth. So you come from the innermost, where it goes down into matter, into objectivity, and on the other side you go into the planetary, and then the cosmic dimensions, and then the black in the background, back to the unknowable background. So from out of these cosmic the connections, you get into a form, a localized body, and you get into a localized consciousness when you descend down to Earth. And so the baby is then like closed into the physical body, and the soul from huge dimensions gets into a very small earthen, mundane existence, and then also the danger to lose this awareness on the journey. And therefore the fog of the car. When you start the journey, you can also into matter, you also come into fog, and a lot of unclear situations on the path.
We have a hand, Berg.
Yeah. Thank you. Ludger, I remember this moment where you took the picture. We were together in this one seminar together in the one meeting for Equinox, and Ute and Peter have been there too. And you told me about the image that the flash of the car was there in the half dark and in the fog. And first I was wondering what you mean with this, but now I do understand, because yes, it is birth. Yeah, Cancer gives birth to a new light. And so it comes out of the veils, and the veils are the veils of the mother. So we do not know what will come, what light will come on earth with Cancer, via Cancer. We do not know that. And so the sudden light out of the veils and in the dark. We do not know if you have a child or if you're expecting a child in real life. We do not know what comes out. Yeah, after all, but nowadays we know if it will be a girl or if it is a boy, but we never know what kind of child we will get. And so the light is still hidden. So I think it's a wonderful, really wonderful image. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Teresa makes a comment. It says beautiful and brilliant.
And this is Risa. I know that Rebecca asked and said, I don't know how to raise my hand. Rebecca, do you need me to explain how to do that again? Rebecca, can you talk? Unmute, Rebecca.
How it is solved.
Okay, you can speak now if you want.
Is Rebecca unmuted?
Yeah. I asked. Yeah, there you are.
Rebecca, would you like to talk?
Can you?
Okay. Well, I just was, before Ludger talked about the road, I was just really focusing on that and was going to speak to the fact that to me, it was the spirit dropping into matter and the road that would unfold for the life of that soul. And that was a really important piece to me of this image. And then it was great Ludger spoke to it. So very beautiful. And when I first saw this image, it just enlivened me. It was such a beautiful image, and the colors are so intense. There's just this incredible aliveness and energy, much like you feel this tremendous energy at the moment of giving birth, and this flame is lit, and this new story begins. It's very beautiful. Thank you, Ludger.
There's also the axis of Cancer at the bottom and Capricorn at the top. This spirit going out of matter in Capricorn, and at the bottom, the entering of the soul into matter symbolized with Cancer.
And the beautiful colors of gold and blue.
Yes.
Basia.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I think it was very important for me to hear about this road and this fog, because I wondered myself what it could be, and I couldn't figure it out. But after you explained it, that it's the road, there's the fog, and so it's like, and it's a really feels like the light coming, like a real touchdown. You know, like the cosmic ship coming and touching the road of material words. So yeah, thank you for giving this explanation, because it really enriches my perception. Thank you.
Carolyn on the chat. It's wonderful to have a visual image for what we have always heard. Cancer brings descent of soul into matter, because I am not very visual.
Shall we go to our next painting of Ludger's? Remember when I talked about that blue-white star that we are going to be seeing in Ludger's paintings? And this is the Syrian star and the dog. And that star, there's a star in the heart of this being also. Look at all this image, all the images and symbols brings forth the mystery. Symbols are what is the new language. Symbols, that's the language of Aquarius. So we learn to understand, recognize, penetrate into, and gaze at the symbols. Then our imagination, our intuition comes forth. So what do we see here? And what questions might we have?
Ludger, is that India or Africa? What are the continents?
The Dattatreya statue is standing on the South Pole.
Hmm.
And there's Africa and there is South America. I took them because they mainly belong to the southern hemisphere. And has to do with the southern hemisphere. I can comment on it later.
Thank you.
Rebecca?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the lights around the globe represent the zodiacal signs, the 12 signs.
These are the cosmic principles related to the cosmic dimension of the zodiac signs. They are called the Adityas, the 12 sons of Aditi, the cosmic light. They come through as principles, cosmic principles, 12 principles or 12 Adityas, the sons of Aditi, and they on our plane reflect as the signs of the zodiac. So these are on the level of the three levels of the sun, the planetary physical sun as what we see, Surya, then comes the next plane, and the soul of the sun and the spirit of the sun. They are on the plane of spirit of the sun. And so the spiritual sun. And these 12 Adityas, these 12 principles, and they are again related to this picture. But I like you just try to dive into it before I try to give explanations. Just look at what you see, and not what comes as explanations.
A question from Mark Ray. Can you tell us the animals present in the picture as they appear rather small?
These are 4 dogs. I can explain much more, but it comes later.
So what Ludger is saying is, let us gaze like we're looking into a mysterious crystal ball or looking through a gate. Let us gaze into these paintings.
Yes.
See what we see, and the intuition comes forth.
Yes.
We can start by saying what we do see. The signs of the Leo sign on the right, the stars of Leo on the left, the bright Syrian star on the face of the dog. What else do we see? By even naming what we see, the intuition can come forth. Because this is a mystery.
Basia?
Yes. So as you already mentioned it, but I could read it from the pictures. That is that you're very much concerned with the idea maybe of and we talked about it a little bit about teaching the humanity. So when you're putting stress on the south of our globe, and we know from the teachings from the daily meditations that there is this pole, and coming through our planet, and in the south there is the place where the Lord that the Atreya was symbolized and pictured always with the dogs is getting very intense presence here, especially with the serious, as Risa said, presence emanating out of his heart. That's how I feel it. It's a very powerful image, and then somewhat there's I still can't really, because the pole, the South Pole on the North Pole is usually visualized or symbolized by the bear, and then we have here the Lear, what I read as the Lear animal figure, or jumping over, also lightened or erased in the light by another sun. Is it still there, or star? I wonder what's the meaning of this star, and is it the same star, or are they in the relation? Yeah, so there's.
I can comment on this. Yes, you're right. It is the same star reflected on Earth. The principles which are in the cosmos are also on the planet and are also in us. And as per the principle of Dattatreya, it is the cosmic teaching principle, the unity of the three logos, first, second, and third logos. It is therefore three heads. It is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva in one form together. And the trident, yes, this is in one way also our spine and in us, and the Trinity, which is held together in a unity. And there are other symbols which are in the hand, which he is holding in the hand, which you do not see so very clearly. I took a photo of a statue which is standing here on my altar, which I got as a gift in India. And the principle of Dattatreya is related to the Muladhara. And therefore, the Muladhara is the base center in us, or the higher Muladhara. And there is the guardian dog. It is the door to the underworld and to the world of dense matter or even of demonic energies. And there is the dog, the three-headed dog in the Greek symbology. And here you do not see clearly on this painting, there is a dog also at the feet of Dattatreya, or normally you see four dogs. There's different symbolisms to these dogs. On the one side, the dogs have very good ears. They listen very well to very subtle sounds. And they have to do with the sound principle of listening. And they have to do also with the teachers who listen to their teacher. It is, Dattatreya is said to be what Maitreya is for the earth, Dattatreya is for Maitreya. For our planetary teacher, the world teacher on earth, he is the cosmic dimension of this teaching principle. And it is located in the cosmos in Sirius. And therefore Sirius at the top, and the dog star. The dog star is a symbol of Dattatreya. That in India it is called Sarameya Mandala, the circle of the dog star. And it is related to the base and therefore also on the planet to the South Pole and the Southern Hemisphere. It says that it rules especially the Southern Hemisphere, and the base is related to dense matter, where the spirit gets at the touchdown again in our Muladhara, where our physical body is being held together and built up from there. But at the same time, also the point where the energy starts rising. And there you have this trident. It is a symbol also of the Kundalini going up. And so this, as per the globe, I did the globe in a way, as I think Risa said it, it looks like a glass looking through the globe. It is like transparent. There's not a clear difference between the background and what is their planet Earth. And so on Earth, there's this serious principle expressed in all the teachers of spiritual hierarchy. They are oriented to love wisdom. And the cosmic dimension of love wisdom is coming through Sirius. Sirius is the cosmic second ray principle in this esoteric terminology of the Tibetan, or just love. Love and wisdom expressed through this teacher principle of Lord Dattatreya. And although Dattatreya is Sirius is located in Scorpio, it comes in, the energies come in via the central star, or the big star in the Leo constellation, Regulus. And so there's this relation to the Leo constellation. And so the four dogs stand also for the four branches of wisdom, the four Vedas in the Eastern wisdom. But you can also see it for the different planes of creation.
Risa on the chat, Sirius dog star is Sarameya Mandala in Sanskrit. Sirius is personified as Lord Dattatreya. And Mark, right?
Hi. Leo is a wonderful sign. I always enjoy studying Leo. And in this painting, I see the dog star, of course. And when I think of Leo, I think of the qualities, the first and second rays coming through. Leos often have leadership abilities, and they need to develop the heart center in that leadership ability to work with groups. Basically, the Leos need to learn the lessons of Aquarius and become group workers through the consecration of the personality, which is often highly developed and can be used for leadership, for teaching, for creative abilities, all kinds of things, and children, and express it through working with groups. That's how I see it.
Risa on Leo.
That's a great overview, Mark. Thank you.
Risa, do I read what you wrote here? We are in Leo now. Sirius flows through Regulus, heart of Leo. We are in the time of Leo now. In Egypt, this is when the Nile rises and floods the land. And then Mark, Leo needs to develop the heart in order to lead with love and compassion, and then leading and working with groups. Oh. Birke?
Yeah, thank you. I think in the esoteric astrology, I always think that Leo is the sign of the teacher. Many teachers are born in Leo or have something to do with the fire. And it is also the Lord Dattatreya, who is there, he is actually the Lord of all the teachers, because the earthly hierarchy, we know what is led by Master Maitreya, by Lord Maitreya. They are oriented to Sirius after all. And the teaching of yoga and the ancient teaching of how we can live. And this all comes from Dattatreya, or let's say Sirius. So this is a connection. And this is my understanding. This is my understanding of this Leo sign. But it's of course very, very deep. Yeah. So Leo is in the esoteric astrology. It also has the sun as a dispositor, as a lord of the sign, exoteric and esoteric, and but it's a different kind of dimension when we are talking about the esoteric sun in Leo. And this is what it is. It is a teaching. It is a heart, and yeah, what is the basis of everything? Because it is the basis of everything, it is related to the South Pole and to the Muladhara. We cannot live without this, these kinds of teaching how to live. It is a basic. It is a basis of everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a very important symbol behind the statue. There's a cow. And the cow is the symbol of Mother Earth, matter, nourishing, the mother principle. And there are only two figures in Indian mythology which have a cow, or in the Indian wisdom teaching, which have accompanied by a cow. This is Lord Krishna. He's always having a white cow, and Lord Dattatreya. And so this cow here is also of great importance.
Next.
There's Virgo image. This is the fourth one. We are been with the second. Can you go back, Lorraine, to the one before?
Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe the order got mixed up. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, everyone.
While we wait, there is a comment from Risa.
This one, yes.
Oh.
Sorry, here we go.
Rosa, you don't have to read it.
Okay, all right.
So this is Virgo, the world mother, and planetary chains and root races. I want to tell you that I still have not been able to completely understand planetary chains and root races. I think that the Theosophical Society and Helena Blavatsky were brilliant. And for them to bring forth this knowledge of the root races and the chains, which I still need to find a teacher who can teach it to me and to our group. But this will hint at the planetary chains and root races. I want to also say that when I first encountered the Theosophical Society in the 70s, when I met the Theosophical people, they were so intelligent, and yet they were so loving. And you could see how incredible the teaching of Theosophy was for the people. So this touches on the roots, the root races, and the chains. I want to say that also we need to be careful with our words these days. Races can be misunderstood. And so we can use the word life waves if there's a controversy.
Yes.
So there's a tremendous amount of symbolism in this. What do we see? Tracy has her hand up.
the thing that I first notice when I look at this is just the eyes of that world mother that you've created, Ludger. And I'm wondering what you drew upon as your inspiration for that. They're so loving and merciful.
It's a very important point which you touch. I used the picture which is on the altar of the World Teacher Trust, or which used to be there on the altar. It was said to be an image of Maria. It had very, very profound eyes, and they were touching very much. I transformed this image for putting it here as an expression of the World Mother. However, I also heard later that it was not a picture of Maria. Master Kuma said in a circle that it was a picture of the young Lord Maitreya, but they come together as both. So it is the male-female aspect, in a way, coming together here in this image. Also, when you look at the picture, you see this dress, and it is not one, it is in the divine, both sides together. But the place, it is very directly looking at us and piercing into the heart. And so I have been always very much touched by this picture, and I've used it for this painting, yeah. And, but I can go into other details, and also what Risa said. I didn't understand. I had been reading several times Secret Doctrine, and I didn't really get the idea. I got the idea through the teachings of Master Kuma, who brought things down into a more understandable form. And I squeezed big concepts here into this painting.
I want to say about these eyes. I want to say something about these eyes. These eyes really penetrate into the heart of the matter of everything. And every morning I say to our students in our classroom, remember your eyes as you gaze out into the world, as you look at your family, your friends, your loved ones. Use those eyes. Let them be filled with love, with mercy, with compassion, and with understanding. Imagine how the world is transformed by those types of eyes. I think Basha has her hand up, Rosa.
Yes. She's going to speak.
Well, thank you about speaking about the eyes and this mesmerizing, heart-piercing moment. But what I would like to go is to this, how wonderfully you have merged into this ever-loving presence of mother, father, maybe identity, entity, embracing the whole creation. I can see, I can remember one of their graphs that even Torkom Saradayan used, and then also Master Kumar used, this 7 chains of the development of each 7 chains, and then 7 planets in each chain. So I can see in this picture this like one of these chains, and the earth becoming like we are at the moment in the 1, 2, 3, 4th, I think in the 5th chain, in the 4th material material presence of our earth. So if we look then on the rainbow, they're too small. It's like our Earth has this presence on different levels. So there's a smaller one represent for me this not visible. The Earth starts like from the what we called invisible words, and then it becomes more and more visible. And in this 1, 2, 3, fourth, in the fourth stage of development, that's the way we are, very mature world. And then it comes like involution, and then in the period of evolution, it goes again into merges into this invisibility, or higher states of existence, or higher vibrations or something. And that's why they're small, then the materialistic world, and then again it closes at the level of a higher vibration. That's what for me it strikes about the explanation about the planetary chains. Thank you. Thank you.
If there are no questions at the moment, I can just give some insights into what you see there. First of all, you see the complete cycle of rainbow. And the rainbow stands for, with the 7 colors, for the 7 planes of creation, at least for our part of the creation, coming down from very subtle plane into denser and more denser planes. So everywhere in this cycle, you see the 7 layers or 7 planes, and they come out of the blue background, which could see also as dark, between dark and then coming out of the darkness of the background into blue. And then this series of Earth. It starts with a very subtle, transparent form of the Earth. It's all the Earth. And this is the Earth chain. The planets have series of manifestation going through different stages. And our present physical Earth planet has had 3 previous incarnations, we can say, and of stages of development before it came to the present dense form. And they have names for this. I do not want to go into any technicalities as per these chains, but you see below the circle, below the unity, there is then this physical Earth. In a way, it is out from the subtle into the gross. And therefore the Earth at the bottom, but again surrounded in the background of the greater Earth holding this Earth. In the very bottom, you see scenes of the Earth on the right and the left. I put them there, that it is coming out of the subtle into the dense form of the present planet. But the present planet also goes through different stages and has very great transformations. And these you see indicated with the different circles. I created from a photo of a stone with the radiating structures, which I put in different sizes there to indicate that there is a process of densification of this present physical plane, and then again going to more subtle stages. And they are reflected in these 7 globes or waves of humanity or waves of the planet, which at Blavatsky's time and later they used with the now very much disputed term of races. I left it here because the historical context, it had been named like this, but it is no longer possible to use it because today very different concepts are related to this term. So it means also that we have gone through this most dense part, which has been in the period of the planet we call Atlantis, and the one before Lemuria, then from the White Island, and then so you go through different stages of density, and we are already in the upward movement, the fifth stage of development, bringing humanity again and the whole earth again to subtler stages. And part of us, the humanity, the meaning all of us who are linking to soul consciousness and going intensely on the path, they are the forerunners of the next stage. And then it is the sixth cycle, the sixth wave of humanity, and then comes the seventh. And then it says that the earth goes through a transition period before it incarnates again in a more subtle body, and then again after a period a more subtle body, and then again after a period a more subtle body, taking all the learnings from the earlier stages to the next stage. So it is this descent from very subtle planes into the gross, and through there all these development stages up again. And at the top you see the constellation of Virgo, and also Virgo as the ornament, as the jewel at the heart of the mother. And it is the mother stands for the most sublime matter also, into which the spirit is received. And all these forms incarnate into matter, go through matter, and develop in matter. Without this matter, no evolution would be possible. And also then refinement of matter to transcend matter again and go up. And therefore, it is this image of Virgo, which also stands for the most sublime aspect of matter.
A comment on the chat, Mark. The esoteric ruler of Virgo is the moon, which can veil the energies of the outer planets. These are the planets associated with the transformation of the personality. The moon is also closely related to matter, motherhood, and matter. The moon is closely related to matter and motherhood. The root races, waves of humanity, are closely associated with the whole process of involution and evolution.
Thank you very much, Mark. It's very right. Can we have a short look at the next image? We have prepared 2 cycles, but we are approaching already the end of our time. We might go a little bit through this one as well, if you still have time to see what this image wants to say.
This is our Aquarius, our cooperation and goodwill and love and light, our Aquarius, the goodwill that we create with each other when we are in our Aquarian Salon communicating, the goodwill when we share with each other. You know, people say so often, we need to have goodwill, but I've noticed that humanity doesn't really understand the equation for how to create goodwill. And the Tibetan gives us the equation where he says, have the intention for will to good and will to love. Have the intention for the will to good and the will to love. And when we have that and we emanate that into the world, those two alchemize When we place the will to good and the will to love in our eyes and our hearts, our thoughts, then everything that is around us then comes forth with goodwill. The will to good and the will to love creates around us goodwill in the hearts and minds of humanity. And the goodwill creates right relations for humanity. And the right relations creates the love and the beauty and the peace and the harmony humanity seeks. And this is an esoteric equation. So it begins with us having the intention for the will to good and the will to good and the will to love, which then creates the cooperation and the goodwill within humanity. So again, that looks like is that the Sirius star once again, Ludger?
I didn't take it as serious. I took it as the light of the soul coming through the earth.
Okay, the light of the soul, pouring forth the waters of life for thirsty.
Yes, the waters of life.
Ludger, it looks like there's a flower of some sort. I can see petals.
I took a dahlia flower and enlarged it, and at the bottom I took photos of two different groups, very different situations, but people were sitting around the table. And so I fused these two groups into this one group here. And as you see, I created this downpour of energies. I took a picture of the earth at the top again, and from beyond the earth comes in the light and pours down on humanity and here onto the group work. And there's the light in the heart, which is the same light as above. So the sun is again in the heart of everyone. And the blue light of the ray of love is reflected in everyone's heart.
I want to be aware of the time right now.
Yes.
I think we've been on for an hour and a half. We can choose to stay on for another half hour if everybody would like to. Or people can choose to get off. And
I think we should stay with the time. And we close. So this time we can continue another time. It is always good also to keep the limitations of time and space. And I would propose, Laureen, that you go to the Violet Flame Invocation. We can afterwards have some free exchange on whatever you would like to talk about in the after the meeting after where we put off the official recording for the.
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see everybody's faces.
Yeah. Yes. We use each time for the close of the salon Violet Flame Invocation to express our connection to the different the whole space which is surrounding us and in us and on the earth. We bow down to the wisdom of the East. We bow down to the love of the South. We bow down to the strength of the West. We bow down to the will of the North. We bow down to the headlight Chintamani above. We bow down to the great guardian dog below. We go down to the Lord of I Am, the center. May we be raised. May we be raised. May we be raised to the kings of beauty. Thank you. This was the second salon meeting of the first cycle. First annual cycle, we meet at the signs of the fixed cross. And now in Leo, we started at the very beginning of Gemini, but for Taurus. And we'll meet the next time on 11th of November in Scorpio, and later then in Aquarius. So we hope that you have enjoyed the meeting. It's always a very thrilling time to come together, these meetings, and hope to meet you again in 3 months for the next meeting of the Aquarian Salon. Frank will close now with some guitar music, then we switch off the recording, and those who would like can stay for a free chat, some exchange. Is Frank there? No, he dropped out. Oh, he's there.
Yes, but a little bit surprised because I thought you play the recording, but I can.
No, you proposed to do it again live.
Yes, it's good. So I play these.
It was your proposal.
Okay.
And it's much better to have it live than from the conserve.
Okay, then listen to this.